I am privileged to be joined by a portion of the amazing cast. We should say it's a cast of thousands, an amazing ensemble. Lord of the Rings of Power. Congratulations on an auspicious Comic-Con debut, guys. How you feeling?
Can I just say as well, I'm just on a couch here, surrounded by flowers and pink and blue balloons. With you going, you're in Lord of the Rings. How do you feel about that? It's very surreal.
we put something in
This
your
is happening, right?
We put something in your drink, actually.
Really?
You're in bed at home. I'm not real. First, give me the idiot's guide. What do I need to know? Because this is obviously, we're used to Lord of the Rings, the films, we know the books. This is not that exactly. It is connected, of course, but when, where, how does this connect? Just give me the idiot's guide to the Rings of Power.
Point one is that it is the second age. It has nothing to do with the third age. Obviously, it leads into the third age, but we are thousands of years previous to any other screen adaptation that we've had.
There's no Gollum, there's no Frodo, and there's no rings yet. So, yeah.
Yet being the important.
Yes.
We got time for that. We're going to get there.
So that's point one.
Okay.
Point two. There are new characters in the world that we're creating. So we've got like a skeletal structure that Tolkien has kind of laid out for us, but we're allowed to flesh out that world with new characters, which is so exciting.
One of the, I think the beauties right now is we all know very little about like who you all are playing and how you relate to each other. Can you shed a little bit of light? Like who here on this couch is trying to kill each other, who loves each other, who's on the same side, who am I going to recognize?
Do you mean as characters or as?
I mean, the more interesting one is actors. No, as characters.
Yeah, my character doesn't love anybody. Not many of us share the same sort of realm, do we?
No, not
It's
in
just
this.
you
It's
two.
just you two.
But we do joke about if we ever were to reunite or to unite, what that would look like, don't we?
And I've kind of worked on the premise that eventually I'm going to meet Disa. Yeah, right there. There's your story. That's what I'm working towards. I don't know about the writers.
I think this is a real introduction into the world and seeing how they function kind of within their kingdoms, within their races. We kind of get to feel each section, each people's creatures, etc., within their worlds. And I think we get to flood of light in great detail for all of them, which is really, really lovely, because then when and if things do kind of collide and cross-pollinate, etc., we'll really get to feel what all of that means. But This is about setting up, planting seeds, getting to know, introductions, what the stakes are, what the potential secrets are, who is trying to come through to maybe break all of those chains and throw things up in the air. So this is the beginning of the Lord of the Rings.
This is our
Rings
hype
of
woman
Power.
right
There
here.
we go.
Mic drop, Sophia.
The names in this are fantastic. Who's got the best character name?
I like saying Galadriel and Celebrimbor.
High King Gil-galad.
I like saying Arondir.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I like, the kind of elven word, the elven names, Arondir, Galadriel, Elrond, all of those. They're so, they've got that musicality, that poetic, regal kind of air that's so fun to say. So
I like Bronwyn.
they're kind of cool. And then you've kind of got the strength of the, I don't know, the dwarven Disa during that hard weight. There's gravitas and meaning towards everything.
I think I have the most beautiful name in the show.
I would agree, actually.
Yeah.
What is
But you have
it?
to say it.
Aarion.
Earian.
Can you say it?
Aarion.
Oh, beautiful.
This is obviously a very ambitious undertaking, and it has to be. You can't just you swing for the fences when you're doing Lord of the Rings, right? So when you're on set in this, shot in New Zealand, I believe, all on location, what's the moment you're on set, you're like, oh yeah, I'm in a massive undertaking. I'm in Lord of the Rings.
For me, it was the Kingdom of Numenor, and we waited about 3 months for it to be built on the back lot, and just walking onto that particular set was absolutely phenomenal experience in terms of the size of it, the scale, the roads they built. They even built canals with boats going down it, like Venice.
We got a boat in the set and docked it in a harbour that they had built for the show, and then got out of the boat and walked through a city that they had built for us, all in one take.
Numenor itself is just this living organism,
right?
Of all these people just coming together and in unison, just giving it its voice, if you like. So that was something special for me.
I keep hearing about Numenor. I need to visit sometime. It sounds amazing.
Go, it's lovely.
Absolutely should
I'd
be
love
seen
to
in-
live there.
It's expensive.
Okay, I'll save up.
Compared to our mud and huts and dirt, yeah, I mean, they rule. The rest of us got tours. Like the producers were like, would you like a tour of Numenor?
Look what they get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lucky you guys, lucky you. But I quite liked my little cottage.
I think for me, seeing all the orcs, they are crazy. You know, they look so cool, like, and so scary as well. Like, they were in prosthetics for apparently like 8 hours or something insane. Like they were committed, and I heard like it's not an easy job being an orc. Like you're stuck in a suit for hours, but they were always so great. And seeing them as well, they were scary as hell. Oh, also they put contact lenses in, and some of them had like white eyes and things like that. No.
Haunted forever. You're scarred for life now.
Yeah.
Do you guys welcome the comparisons? Like, obviously, there are going to be comparisons to the films. There's also comparisons to contemporary shows like Game of Thrones. It just goes with the territory. Does it feel like that's apt, or are you running away from that kind of stuff? Like, is that flattering? Just give me a sense when people bring up other
I think it's
reference points.
inevitable to have the comparisons. It's period. You have to welcome them. You have to celebrate them. I think, there's nothing new under the sun in terms of making art in that way. You can go about that. But I think we can very confidently say that we made something very unique, if not by virtue of how they made the story in the production, but also by virtue of the 22 people that are representing these characters. I think we really brought our soul to that, and that math itself is going to put forward something extremely original.
One other thing that I think is really exciting and refreshing and long overdue is that this is a show that seemingly reflects much more of our world today, right? And has some modern sensibilities to it. Talk to me about like why that's necessary, obviously, and important, obviously, but like it's not something that has traditionally been the case in fantasy, in genre stuff. Is that something that you think that sets this show apart, refreshingly so?
Yeah, I think it is time. I think with a franchise of this scale, it is so important that we make it as accessible as we possibly can for every single generation and every single voice and a child person around the world. Suddenly we get to embrace the fans that we already have, but we also get to open the door and flood a new fan base in. There are so many diverse people out there who will have really enjoyed all of the works that we've seen before, but now they get to see themselves staring back at them. Like, that's incredibly important.
As a big fan of Tolkien's work from a very, very young age, I just think of my young self and how she would feel to see me on screen, and I have a young daughter, and how she will feel to see me on screen. So I think that is, it's incredibly important in more ways than one.
This to me just feels like something that has just the furthest possible reach, and we're choosing to tell it in these times, so we should represent it for these times.
The generation that comes after us now, this will be their memory of Tolkien. This will be their memory of the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. And so we get to move that through and just be the beginning of this revolutionary moment for television, of course, the Tolkien franchise and works.
Very well said. Despite your massive cast, you're still part of relatively a small group of folks that have been able to inhabit this universe. If you had the opportunity, would you want to, now having gone through this first season, which we hope is going to be potentially 5, I believe, like from the original cast of the movies, would you want to like compare notes? Like what would you want to ask any of those guys or talk to about given your own experience?
I'd love to talk to Viggo Mortensen because he's my 38th great grandson. So, what it might be like to feel that bit of elvish connection between him and I, that would be a joy if I could get to do that.
I think because I'm playing a Harfoot, I would have loved to have talked to Ian Holm.
Yeah.
Just because I think he touched on a heart of that. We're working even harder to kind of preserve that heart, but he just had something that I'd love to know what his musings on that were.
Amazing.
I grew up in Wellington, and I was at drama school when they were making the second trilogy, so I've had run-ins with some of the cast members across the years anyway. I vividly remember Martin Freeman coming to a party at my flat and going, and then he was gone. So
you scared him perfect experience right there. That's all you need.
That was enough for me.
We all did that when we came to your flat.
That's true.
It's funny because I've worked with Martin Freeman and Billy Boyd, but I haven't seen them since I've been to New Zealand, so I'm looking forward for that conversation.
Yeah, the knowing look. Like, oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. And I might have a look at they've got tattoos as well, haven't they?
Right.
I might have a look and just see what they've got. And maybe put 2 or something.